Welcome to
Dear Friends and Dead Ends. My name is Cody.
And my name is Ashley. Cases may contain graphic details, explicit language, and very bad puns. Bam, bitch.
I am.
We own it.
Yes.
Hey guys, welcome back. What is this, episode 19? Is that what we're on? That sounds right.
Sure enough.
Excellent. Awesome. So, I don't know what antics we have for this week. I guess we'll find out. But thank you for anyone who has stuck with us despite our sex jokes with fruit. And
did anyone send us the fruits that they'd like the fuck the most?
No.
Weird.
No. Yeah, right. I was totally expecting that to happen. I think that as the podcast grows and people start to listen to the beginning episodes, we may down the line, we'll just see like peach emojis or some other weird shit. We'll be like, what?
Oh, that'll be fun.
What?
If this shit takes off and then 3 years from now, we just get just so many cantaloupe emojis and we're like, huh, weird.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Oh, a star fruit? That's gotta hurt.
Oh. Yeah, oh God. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
No thanks. What was I going to say? Oh, I wasn't going to talk about it before we started recording, but on my way down the main road that leads into my neighborhood, I was behind a forensic crime scene kit van.
Oh, really?
Like an actual crime scene van. And it pulled into my neighborhood, pulled onto the main drive. It continued almost onto our street, and it went down this slight little hill before you get to our street.
Okay.
And it ended up parking on that little hill there in one of the spots.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if someone in my neighborhood got murdered or not.
Oh, I for sure would have followed it. There's no way I would not have followed it.
Oh no, it's not that I had to pass by it being parked to get to my house.
Go knock on the door, see what's up.
I for sure was gonna be like, hey buddy, what you got going on?
You got any stabbings in here?
What's going on? I have a podcast and I would love to talk about said situation.
Yeah, hell yeah.
If you'd like. No, actually Dana was like, no, just go over there with a clipboard and a lab coat. And instantly I was like, I still have my fucking Sam's Club lab coat. Don't you play with me.
Well, dude, it's if you not even, you don't even really need a lab coat. If you just act like you belong, you'd be surprised what you can get away with. Because when it just randomly made me, it didn't randomly make me think of, but the one time that I've had that was at not Sam's Club, Toys R Us. We had to set up the shop in the mall.
Yeah.
And they were like, make sure you bring your name badge or else they're going to stop you. And I showed up, didn't have shit, and was just walking through warehouses and in the back halls of the mall. And people just yep. Yeah. They just wave at you. They don't security guards passing by me. Didn't say nothing.
Yeah, they just figure you're supposed to be there. No, but I was like, yeah, no. What if I go over there with my vacuum and just be like, yeah, no, I'm here to collect evidence?
That's solid.
Huh?
Or have you ever played Luigi's Mansion? You might be there to suck up the ghost.
I could. Unless they mistook what I'm saying. In which case...
Excuse me, sir. I'm here to suck your ghost. And then they'd be like, what house do you live in?
Ma'am, can I have your OnlyFans name, please?
Yes.
Please.
My OnlyFans is Raccoon Held My Nipples.
And I sucked off a ghost.
You sucked off a ghost? You said that with the strange amount of confidence that faded as soon as the weirdest part is your confidence fell off when you were about to say ghost. You had already said the difficult part.
Yeah. So you've seen how pale my husband is, right? Just kidding. We're done. Let's move on.
Yes. Now I get it.
Let's move on. I can't believe I just said that. Okay, let's move on. I don't think I have any other announcements, but I am going to double check it. Other than I did text Cody about this today, and it's not relevant to the podcast, but I really want to bring it up because it's terrifying.
The shark.
Basking sharks. If you don't know what they are, and I actually don't think I did until today, I happened to come across it, and a little bit terrifying. Terrifying.
It's like if someone took a whale shark and somehow made the mouth bigger.
Oh no, that mouth can get 3 feet wide.
3 feet wide?
Yep.
Well, I thought that shit was like as big as a whale shark. What the fuck?
3 feet wide.
Oh, I'm very confused now.
Yes. Yes. There's a picture. If you look, basking shark caught, there's a picture almost immediately of a guy checking its teeth. Yeah.
Its teeth?
It does. They're very small. They're on the opposite side of where you would think they would be, and they're little hooked teeth. They have really tiny teeth.
What? What the fuck do you mean on the opposite side of the outside? Because I expect them to be on the inside.
No. So in the mouth, you see there's little ridges. They're not on the front of the ridges. They're on the other side, which is really weird. So, but they mainly eat plankton. They don't really go after a lot of bigger fish. So
regardless, pretty terrifying.
Educational thing of the day. But yeah. So thanks for tuning in to our weird pornographic ghost and shark learning show.
Yeah.
You're welcome. All right, I'm going first, aren't I?
I don't know.
I think so.
Okay.
That sounds right.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So mine slightly involves candy. Slightly.
Did you say candy or Kennedy?
Ooh, what if it had both? No, it's got candy.
Okay.
Kind of.
Is this one of those things that like, oh God,
what?
Is there a way that you could tell us a whole missing story without mentioning the person's name? And then at the end, you're like, and he went into the factory and he was never seen again. This was the story of Augustus Gloop.
Well, not bad.
That'd be fun. If like...
Didn't he get sucked up the tube? Is that what happened?
Yeah. I had that happen with a vacuum cleaner one time.
Okay. I don't know why that was so funny, because that was one of the dumbest things I think I've ever heard. Male curiosity. Okay, so moving on. All right, so this is the story of Helen Marie Voorhees Brach. She's got a pretty cool name.
Helen Marie Voorhees Brach?
Brach.
Yeah, that's dope.
I thought it was Brock, but it's definitely Brach. And she was born November 10th of 1911. So this is like way back.
Oh shit, you're doing what I do.
Kind of. Yeah, she went missing in 1977 because she was older when she went missing.
Jeez, she was old as shit when she went missing.
She was 65 and she was 5'10", 200 pounds. So not your average missing person. Typically, they're short, skinny. Typically, on most cases, you'll find.
Yeah, she was a fun little bowling ball.
Wow. Okay. I am so sorry to her family. Cody did not mean that.
Oh,
Speaking of bowling ball, yesterday was my cat's first birthday. Happy belated birthday to Severus. He is also a bowling ball.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you got him a bowling ball, and that doesn't make much sense because he's a cat.
He is a bowling ball.
Oh.
He's very round.
He's cute, though.
Very disgruntled. Yes. Yeah. His name suits him. Anyway. So she had red hair, brown eyes, pierced ears, and she was wearing a full-length fur coat when she went missing. So
she was a baller.
She got the money. So actually, when I said Brach, it's Brach.
Oh, like the gummy bear.
Like the gummy bear, like the jelly beans. They're very well known for their jelly beans. She in fact married the her husband, who actually passed away before like she goes missing.
Mm-hmm.
She married him, and he actually is or was the heir to the Brach.
Oh
or
shit!
Brack.
Oh,
So
you're actually talking.
it's
Oh,
legit
goddamn!
the candy company.
I don't know why that is the part that got me so excited. It's just gummy bears, but that's cool as shit.
Yeah, no, literally, this involves that family because she married into it, and then she went missing at some point, and legit, it's that family. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And her former married name had been Littlecock, and I don't know why I felt the need to bring that up, but I wrote that down because that matters. And I was like, would you imagine the man born with that name, especially if his first name was Richard? Could you
Dick
imagine?
Littlecock.
Oh. Yeah, that'd be
Dick
a real
Littlecock.
rough elementary and high school.
That's just a rough life, period.
Yeah, hopefully his family didn't do that, but I'm actually not
but
sure.
Unless it was like one of those like when you call the giant goon in a gang tiny because it's ironic.
Mhm.
Like if his whole family was just swinging hammers, that's not too bad.
It's a new euphemism. Thank you. So on February 17th of 1977, Helen was actually in Rochester, Minnesota, even though she typically she lived a little bit outside of Chicago, but she happened to be in Minnesota. She was at a Mayo clinic there. She went to a follow-up appointment at her doctor's office. All was well, except they pointed out her weight was a little bit high, and that's never a fun conversation for anyone. So overall, she was in good health, and she was heading back to her hotel that she was staying at. Along the way, there was a gift shop that caught her eye, and she could not resist. So $41 later, or about $181 in today's money, she left with cosmetics and some bath towels. So it doesn't sound exciting.
Jesus Christ.
What?
That inflation hurts.
Hmm? Yeah.
$44 is like 200 bucks now.
41. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. Just think about down the line. Anyway, moving on.
Capitalism.
So, right. So typically when you hear news like that from the doctor who likes to point out your weight, then you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go do some retail therapy. I feel like I need this. I've earned this, kind of. But she was buying the items really quickly, and she told the cashier she was waiting for a person that she was supposed to meet up with. She called him her houseman, which isn't really a normal term, but that's what she called him.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
So detectives looking into the case could not figure out what the hell that meant. She had been
okay, so it's not even like a regional term. It's just straight up. Even the police were like, the fuck is a houseman?
Yeah, I think it's just a term that she used for whatever reason, but it kind of makes sense. It definitely makes sense, actually. So she had been alone at the hotel, and no one at the hotel ever saw her with anyone in her room, anything like that. And after she leaves that gift shop, she goes missing. Helen did have a quote houseman, and his name was Jack Matlick. There we go. All right. He was a what the fuck? Attributed. There we go. I can't read my own handwriting.
He's a what?
He was attributed to basically kind of like, yeah. I don't want to say a butler, but kind of, but he was also like a hired help a little bit, in that he would do things around the house, maintain the land, property, stuff like that. And that's how that's basically what he did for her, and that he was just a houseman. So
she didn't know the word handyman.
I guess not, but I feel like he did more than that, because he was I don't want to say like a housekeeper. I don't think she had a housekeeper. I think it was just like a, and that's more like
maybe she
term.
Maybe she mashed housekeeper and handyman together and got houseman instead of handykeeper.
Yeah, we don't really have the entomology situation on that, but that sounds right.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, she goes missing, but we're stuck on the term houseman, so I don't.
Hey, I can't explain how my brain works.
No, it's weird. Like it's not something I'd ever heard of before that. So I'm glad I'm not the only one who was like, that's new. So, oh yeah, and then I did put about how she's related to the Brach family, and it's obviously she married Frank, who is the owner of E.J. Brach and Sons, which was one of the world's wealthiest candy producers. And I don't know how, I've never heard of this taste. Either way, I literally thought it was called Brock's, so it's really difficult to.
Is it not? I've always said Brock's.
I think it's Brax, actually. Brax. It's pronounced Brax.
Huh. Are they the ones that have the sugarless gummy bears to make you shit your brains out?
I'm not sure.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Are you talking about the Amazon review ones?
Yeah, no, but they're like legitimate. Like you have like a handful of these gummy bears and like you're blowing out the bottom of your toilet.
I don't like, what is in it that makes you do that?
I don't fucking know.
Well, these are the things we need to know. I mean, they are one of the ones that, yeah.
Oh no, they're those are Haribo.
Also, Haribo?
Haribo?
Albany's Confectionery has that those reviews also. So, in case you didn't know, sugar-free gummy bears typically seem to be quite the digestive help.
I need to see the.
All right, let's see. So,
oh shit!
What?
Brex is the people that make like they make candy corn.
Oh, they do. I forgot about that. I was thinking jelly beans at the time when I researched.
So was I, but they make those delicious those fucking caramel things that have just the like sugar in the center.
Wow, that's real. Gonna narrow it down.
You know what I'm like, the cow tails that are like sliced up.
Okay, yeah, I had a feeling that's what you're going for. I don't know
Not
that I
actual
like
cow
those,
tails.
But thank you.
Thank you. Pitchforks down.
Kentucky stand down. Kentucky stand down. It's fine. Not real. I don't know, where are the cows? I guess we have them here in Maryland.
No, the fields.
Okay.
I don't know. The cow houses.
The cow houseman.
The cow houseman.
But Frank and Helen, their love story began as much a cliche movie would. She, a woman born and raised in Ohio, was in Florida. She worked as a coat check girl at the Palm Beach Country Club, and it was love at first jacket. They met there, fell in love. What? No.
It was love at first jacket?
Coat. Love at first coat.
I would say coat, yeah.
We don't know, though. We don't know what he was wearing.
That is true.
We don't know. Love at first hoodie. I'm not really sure.
Oh, I just meant like jacket.
What if it was a... Thank you for the male perspective I did not think about. Thank you.
Oh, my bad.
And if you don't know what's going on because you're not watching the video, which is most of you, Cody made a lovely little gesture.
It's like if I was trying to shake ketchup out of a bottle just vigorously.
I mean, you're not wrong. So there's your visual. You're welcome. Their marriage was actually very happy. They had a really loving relationship, no drama, anything like that. Frank did die in 1970, 7 years prior to this day when she goes missing. So they had a great love story. He had just passed at this point, so she was just continuing her life kind of how she had to. But no foul play.
Do you think she was horned up for the houseman?
I don't think she was horned up for the houseman.
I just wanted to say horned up.
Yeah, no shit. So Frank left Helen with $20 million. God
damn.
Do you want to know what that equates to now?
Hang on, let me do my math real quick. So $41 was like $200. So 20 million would be right around 300 million.
No.
60.
No.
Is it less? Did somehow that portion go down?
137 million.
I was very close.
You're only off by like 100 or so.
Yeah.
Oh God. All I'm gonna say is I chose the wrong place to begin working. Right? Country clubs. That's where you find them. I mean, they might be a little bit older, but you know.
That's fine. Just
close your eyes.
Yeah.
That's what Anna Nicole did. Okay, moving on. So
just close your eyes and slick up everything because it's dry at that point, I assume.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to move past it, but I'm
Knock
just
the dust off it.
skeeved out. What?
Knock the dust off it.
Like that. Okay. All right. All right, moving on. So on February 17th, Helen was due to fly back to Chicago from Minnesota. In fact, Jack Matlick was the person that needed to pick her up from the airport, the houseman, which would make sense if she said he was waiting, kind of. Investigators, who knows how many days later, because it wasn't immediately, go to O'Hare International Airport to interview people there. The plane crew was like, Helen, who? Police were like, I don't know, she's a rich woman in a fur-length coat. Like, you don't recall her? She literally owns a candy company. And they're like, nope, doesn't ring a bell. Didn't see her. She wasn't here. So they're like, what? She was definitely supposed to be on a flight out this way. I mean, in fairness, detectives didn't ask them until like probably weeks or months later. And your memory gets a little bit fuzzy even back then, even though it wasn't as many flights.
Yeah, but I mean, like, hey, do you remember seeing the fat old lady in a floor-length fur coat?
Fat is a little bit like
do you remember
curvy.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that's where they came up with the term thick with 3 C's.
Do you remember the curvy Willa Wonka? There we go.
Wonka. Oh yeah, you gender swapped it.
That was on accident, actually. I was supposed to say Willy Wonka, and I just couldn't get through it. So, yeah, like you didn't see her, and they're like, nope, nothing. She was not on that flight. So this is when we come to Jack, the houseman. He said that he picked...
Oh, but in all fairness, this is 1977, and I feel like shit was weird back then. I mean, like, I feel like now we're saying like, hey, a floor-length fur coat, and you're like, who the fuck wears that? But back in the 70s, yeah, okay, I get it now. Also,
I mean, I just had a case where 70s police work was at its worst. They literally were like, oh, there it goes, look at the body, oh no. Oh no, Gary. So they're probably like, she went on this flight. All right, maybe she drove. Seems legit. We'll check it out eventually. And so of course they're like, what does this Jack guy have to say? He says he picked up Helen from the airport for sure. He then drove her right back to the house, which was in the suburbs of Chicago. It was called Glenview, was that area. But something weird happens. Jack, that same weekend, makes a phone call. He calls his wife to state that he will not be returning home for the weekend because I guess typically he lives there during the week and goes home on the weekends.
Okay.
Per his houseman duties, I'm not really sure. And he's like, I need to take care of some work, so I'm going to stay in Glenview instead. Why is this strange? Typically, when he did stay for a week, it was at another home that Helen had, and it looks like Schaumburg, Illinois.
Oh, yeah, Schaumburg.
Do you actually know that for sure?
Nope.
Okay. This is where he stayed every night. Okay, so I'm going to correct myself right there. So typically he stayed at a different home, but nearby, so he could help. He didn't stay in her house, but in one of her other houses because they didn't want it to be weird. So he would, just be there during the day. And
she had 2 houses that fucking close together?
Cody. Millions.
That just seems I know. Yeah, I know. Fucking millionaires, bro. Shit's ridiculous.
There's the quote of the day. Shit's ridiculous.
Yep.
Jesus. Okay. All right. Moving on. What? Okay. This is
What?
me trying to read my shit. It's not going well. So, according to Jack, Helen was there in Glenview as she needed to pack for another trip she was going on to Florida. This is what he told police. Her friends were like, what? They had actually stopped by the house to visit Helen, which was normal. But when they stopped by, the friends were turned away at the door, which is not normal.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that she was, I'm trying to find the exact phrasing. It had something to do with, she was simply unavailable, was all he would say.
So Jack turned them away?
Yeah.
Mm.
She did not turn them away. Jack was like, she's not available.
I wasn't
right
sure
now.
if like maybe she had like some other help around the house, but it's just her and Jack.
Basically. Yeah.
Sounds fucking weird.
Yeah. And so all of this is just really, really weird. And I can only imagine her friends just being like, what really is she doing? Crossword puzzles or what? It's not like she has a job. What is she actually doing right at this moment that is so goddamn important that we can't even come in?
She's flirting with Joe Haribo.
Well, they're sugar-free shitting themselves.
Yeah. Black Forest, so juicy, yeah.
And then you just hear a bunch of like diarrhea noises. So I'm sure you've noticed Jack seems really reliable. So this is his next set of complete truths. Here we go. Jack claims Monday morning, 7 a.m. precisely, he drops Miss Helen off at O'Hare Airport. This is after she has been back home from Minnesota. She is going to Florida. She wasn't taking much with her, and she sure hadn't purchased a plane ticket yet. Her friends immediately are firing off just bullshits right then, like it's fireworks, because they're like, first off, she hates mornings, so she's not going to be on a 7 a.m. flight. Second of all, she sure was going to have a reservation. She's not going to just show up there.
Right.
She wants to make sure everything's in order because she doesn't want to fucking wait around for whatever flight she can catch.
Do you think I'm going to fly economy?
Right? Not a thing. Not going to happen. In addition to that, she travels like 10 duffels deep. You know what I mean? Like she's not going to just take a carry-on bag.
She was walking around just living her life in a full length fur coat. Like
that needs its own set of luggage by itself.
Has changes of clothes on changes of clothes.
Right. You think she's taking one suitcase? You are out your mind. Even if she's going for a weekend, there's probably got to be at least 3 or 4 suitcases. So immediately it's just really fucking weird. Once again, there is no record she flew at all that day.
That's a problem.
Yes. And what does this say? She never showed. So this is 5 days later, a Thursday to a Monday. So the original flight into Chicago was on the 17th, and then he said she flew out on the 21st. So that's 5 days of time that is kind of unaccounted for in terms of, other than the friends being shooed away, we don't really know. So
in that time span, he's the only one who's quote unquote seen her.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else is like, hey, let us see our friend, and he's like, no, she's powdering her nose. Right. And then he also in that time calls his wife and is like, yeah, I have to stay here because I have to do some work. So weird. So here we go. And
He then says she signed some checks before she flew. They're mostly addressed to me, but not all of them, because, this I made up, because, that would be suspicious if they were.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, they can't all be addressed to him. That would be weird.
There's $40,000 worth of checks addressed to me, but also look at this $200 check addressed to Joe Schmo, and this $50 check addressed to Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut. I just imagine they're just like, okay, all right, like stop. Just stop the bullshit. They're probably so fed up with this guy. They're just like, you moron. Police then examine the checks. It's not Helen's signature. But
no way.
Right? He's like, well, yeah, she injured her hand, so I had to sign them for her. I don't remember if I made that up or if he actually said that. I'm sorry. But I just imagine a very cinematic pause, and it's all like wise guys 40s, and they're like, I think we understand now. I think we've got the picture. And then he's probably like, oh, thank you. I'm glad you understand. Like, just a dumbass in every sense of the word. So they don't think it's Jack's handwriting either, actually, which is where it gets very weird. Very weird.
But that's one of those things that, like, I wonder if it could be her handwriting, but like she's under duress.
So that could be true.
You know what I mean? Like, if he beat the shit out of this lady and then made her sign something, like, it's not going to look like her perfect signature. If he's pointing a gun at her, being like, $20,000 and $50 to Pizza Hut.
Right. Like, why is her hand injured? Why is her hand injured, sir? But then his let me see, and then his wife comes back and she says a little bit more about the whole situation. She outs him right then and there, because Jack has told his wife that Helen never came back from Minnesota and the Mayo Clinic. He waited for her in Glenview and she never showed. So Jack had told his wife Helen never made it back to the airport in Chicago.
Well, that's bad. Just entirely unrelated. What the fuck is the Mayo Clinic?
I imagine it's like
Mayo Clinic is a non-profit.
Like not like Kaiser Permanente, but
so it's a
like
non-profit
Mercy Hospital, maybe.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be completely honest. All the Mayo Clinic stuff I always saw originally when I was younger was on Mayo Road in Edgewater. And I was like, weird to name it after the road you're located on. And then as I grew up, I was like, they're really doing well for themselves. And now I know I'm just stupid.
I mean, in fairness, if something's locally named, in theory, if it matches, you'd be like, oh, check that out. Okay, all right. And then you see it later on, and you're like, damn, son. Wow. You get those dollars locally. And then you're like, no, just kidding.
Incredible. Those meth heads from Edgewater are really taking over the world of healthcare.
I mean, we could talk about Big Pharma, but we're not going to talk about Big Pharma. Let's move on. So she outs him about that. And then wouldn't you know it, the weekend that she doesn't show, carpeting happens to get replaced in one of the rooms of the house.
Nothing terribly suspicious about that.
2 rooms get repainted. The workers did, let me see, they didn't see anything odd. But also the pink Cadillac that he drove that was hers, it happened to get super cleaned out, waxed. The interior was shampooed that weekend also. So nothing suspicious to see here at all. Let me see. Okay, so he gives it about a good 2 weeks before he's like, where's Helen? She should be here, I think. even though he's like, yeah, I dropped her at the airport, which is obviously a lie.
Right.
And then he's not related to her, so he actually can't file the missing persons report. So he calls Charles.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You can't file a missing persons report if you're not related to them?
Yeah, you better get married to Sarah quick. Safety reasons. Because
Wait, do you think she's going to go missing or I'm going to go missing?
I think you should keep yourselves both safe just in case. Although if someone was going to go missing, I feel like it would be you because I feel like she's crafty.
Oh, she's definitely going to kill me at some point.
Yep. And even if I know anything, I won't know anything. So
yeah, no, I respect that. I've already told her if she ever tries, like if she ever decides she's going to kill me, I am absolutely positive it is the horniest I will ever be. As she's killing me, it's going to be like, I fucking knew you were the one. I knew it.
This is like one of those.
I don't know what that says about me and my mental state, but
I feel like if this were a TikTok, it would be you being like, how you're saying you're into BDSM without saying you're into BDSM. That pretty much just sums that up right there. So moving on. Good to know.
Moving on.
Yes. Anyway, so he contacts Helen's brother, Charles Voorhees. Charles files the report, then rushes to the Glenview home, as this is the last place that she was supposedly, because no one knows about the wife yet, as far as like what the wife knows.
Right.
He's cluing for looks. If anyone gets that reference, you are the best. Don't worry about it, Cody. It's from Sherlock. Oh. So all her diaries get destroyed by a natural disaster.
Is the natural disaster named Jack?
That was literally my next line. The natural disaster's name is Jack. So she wrote them in like every day. She wrote them every day for years. And just like that, or just like Jack, they were all ruined. But Charles, her brother, says that was explicitly told to him by Helen. That was the plan. If there was anything to happen, they were to burn all her diaries.
Oh, what if she had the secret recipes for the gummy bears in there?
Oh, maybe. I want to know, like, what are you hiding, ma'am?
On the eve of 1964, my husband brought me a new flavor of gummy bear. And when I tell you, it made me so slick with its beautiful taste.
It was called Vagina Candle by Gwyneth Paltrow. Could you imagine? Oh, that woman's an idiot.
Wait, is vagina? Okay. What? Is Vagina Candle a candle you put in there?
Oh no, it's supposed to smell like her vagina is the thing.
I'm fucking sorry. What?
Yeah, no, that's the whole thing. Is she made the candle to smell like her vagina, supposedly. Yeah.
That's not a joke. That's the real.
That's the real. I mean, she's probably a joke and just jokingly getting money out of everybody. But yeah, no, that's the real thing. It's the real description.
I have never been so curious what a candle smells like.
I mean, you can Google it. A lot of people have said what it smells like. I feel like
because
I don't know if it's peonies or if it's what's a flower?
What the fuck is that?
It's a flower.
Her vagina does not smell like a fucking flower. It's probably
she wants you to think it smells.
It's
like
probably like heavily salted Slim Jim.
I mean, I wouldn't know, but
me either.
It's possible.
But isn't she always sticking like weird shit up there from her company?
I don't know. It's really
isn't there like a vagina egg that you put in there and then you drop it on the vagina candle?
A
a vajayg you drop it out of your
Don't
you
take
drop
that.
the,
That's our marketing
you
material.
drop the vajayg out of your vagina onto the candle and it puts it out maybe. What the fuck?
The candle.
Gwyneth...
I don't get rich people. I really don't.
Yeah.
So
how the fuck do you spell Gwyneth?
GWY. Okay.
Candle. Vagine.
Charles then has Jack burn the what? What?
The fucking the front of the candle.
Yeah.
It's apparently, oh my god, it's a $75 candle.
Duh.
But it's a what are they called when two companies work together? A collaboration between Goop and Heretic.
Okay.
And the name of this candle is This Smells Like My Vagina.
Duh.
Bougie Parfumey.
Great.
Parfume, I assume. What is this? Oh, fuck off. With a funny, gorgeous, sexy, and beautifully unexpected scent, this candle is made with geranium, citrusy bergamot,
That sounds closer.
bergamot, and cedar absolutes juxtaposed with damask rose. Damask rose? Can I read? What the fuck?
That'll be the real theme of this podcast. Hooked on phonics.
I have been
hobbits. Hooked on Hobbit phonics.
What is
Hobbit phonics?
Hobbit phonics.
If there's one goal in my life other than getting us to the catacombs, it's going to New Zealand.
Getting one of these candles.
Also, yes, we'll do that too. Also, I need to get us to New Zealand so I can take a picture of you in the Shire next to the Hobbit, like doors and stuff that's still there.
That'd be
because fun. I know. Eventually we'll get there. Speaking of, we still need one more patron on Patreon at the $5 or $10 levels because we would really like to start the bonus content. There's a poll on there. We're going to do the murder libs. It's going to be a really fun, good time. We also should announce that we're only going to do the conspiracy theories once a month.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have a lot going on separately, different things, but it's just one less thing that we have to worry about doing all the time every week. So I think it'll make it more fun. We won't be as drained. So we'll have a lot more energy. It'll be a much better time, I think. But yeah.
I think so too.
What were we talking about? Vagina candles?
Yeah, we got way off topic.
Oh boy. Well, you're welcome, I think. So, no, Charles the brother lets Jack burn these diaries outside of his presence. I don't know why that's important to note, but they did put that in the notes. Maybe he read them before he burned them. I'm not really sure. So there are no ransom demands that come forth. There's no kidnapping that makes any sense. Like nothing comes forth that says that she was taken by force anywhere, but also everyone's like, she should have showed up.
Yeah.
Very strange. Oh God, here we go. And they end up sending an attorney to take care of the estate of Helen Brach in her absence. Oh boy. His name is John Cad. You know what? I'm not even gonna
Cadwallop.
Cadwallader.
Cadwallader. So close.
Mank. Mank was not allowed to see the will, but Jack is like, oh, I know what's in it. Don't worry about it. I know what's in it. I ain't gonna worry about it.
Know this shit like the back of my hand.
He says all of it is going to either Charity or her brother Charles. So
that's not what I expected.
Yeah. So this case keeps getting weirder. A new player enters the mix, and this is going to end up being a two-parter because there's just so much to it. But this is when we get to her boyfriend, Richard Bailey, because she did have a boyfriend.
Bailey's Irish Cream?
Oh, for sure. No. So he was dating Helen when she vanished. When she was to fly back, Bailey was supposed to meet her in Florida at that airport when she landed, supposedly. Bailey gets his own lawyer. Oh, I'm gonna have to cut out a lot of this. Lawyer.
Did you have a long day, or you just like drunk?
No, I had a long day. I'm very tired. I haven't had that much of the beer. Anyway, and I'm not very good at enunciating my words. So he gets a lawyer. I will not tell the estate lawyer anything, to the point where he's not even admitting he knows this woman who is his girlfriend. Like he's saying, like, I don't even know who she is.
Oh, that's
like,
a move.
Honey, you fucking have dated her. And he's like, I don't know who that woman is. He's the whole Bill Clinton. I did not have relations with that woman. I don't. No idea. Not sure. Keep me out of it. Richard Bailey was involved in the horse market in terms of that line of work, like races, stables, that line of country club type shit. Not like
horse
meat.
I thought you were going to say he sold horse semen.
He may have, but that's not listed. He had quite a reputation in Chicago as a con artist, Richard Bailey, which is wonderful.
Of Barnum and Bailey?
That's a good one. His con was romancing recently widowed or divorced middle-aged wealthy women.
If Sarah gives me the green light, that's going to be my shit.
Great. He'd get their money invested into his horse business. I think the business was called Horse Shit, by the way. Yeah. So he brings Helen to his business, and her accountant is like, she spent $250,000 on the horses, which would be 1.1 million today. Richard Bailey and his brother sold her these horses, upcharged the shit out of them, and that's where I will leave you until next week, where we will do the rest of it, because it gets quite ridiculous, as you would imagine. But yeah, so her boyfriend's a con artist, but there's even more shit that gets into it that you might not be expecting.
Interesting.
Yeah, all from a woman who married into a candy company.
Man.
You may not have the money, but sometimes you don't want to be part of that scene because it gets pretty diabolical.
It would have been cool if Sarah, I can't imagine being with anyone other than Sarah. But right. if I had met her and she was actually like Sarah Kit Kat, that would have been so appreciated.
Okay. I have to be able to make sure I'm not going to say the word. I have to be able to make sure I can finish my drink. So, yeah. Sarah Kit Kat.
Yeah, like if that would have been good. Sarah Sour Patch.
That's actually kind of fun.
Yeah, that could, if she would, that sounds like a Suicide Girl name. Like the alternative models, not the people that kill themselves.
Thank you.
But I don't know what Suicide Girls are. So moving on.
He's just outing himself on so many levels today.
I'm having a rough time.
That's how some like it, apparently.
Okay. Phrasing, Cody.
Things you didn't want to know about Cody this week.
All right, so my favorite fruit
in the bedroom is
kumquat.
I should have expected that, but I wasn't.
Do we have anything to talk about in between, or am I just jumping right into my story?
Oh, I do. I don't have that prepared. Like I have it prepared, but I don't have it ready. So we're gonna bring that up. This is from Christy. So thank you, Christy. I do appreciate you sending this.
Thanks, Christy.
It sounded real genuine. Okay.
We'll send you the link to our Patreon soon.
Yeah, Christy.
Christy.
Where you at?
Yeah, Christy.
Hmm?
We've got fuck, who do we have? We have Kristen.
Kristen.
We have Amanda.
Amanda.
We have Corey.
Corey.
We have Autumn.
Autumn. Judicator.
And Judy.
Right, but we still need one more $5 or $10 tier.
So that's
for the real fun after hours. Not in a weird way, but like
in a very weird way.
Yeah, I mean, it won't be on any regular podcast. It's going to be on Patreon. Bonus content. If you think we're unscripted,
it's video
now,
only, and I'm wearing a sports bra and a thong.
Can I get that in writing? Because I feel like they need the sports bra part. Actually, I don't know what needs the second part of that.
They need the thong.
I don't think they do.
They do.
I don't think they do.
Wait, what were we? Oh, yeah, Christy sent us something.
Yes. So once again, I think this is local. So way to go, us. It's in Laurel, again, in Maryland. First, we had an arsonist who was also a cop.
Oh, yeah.
Now we have a man that is charged with the rape and murder of a 40-year-old cold case. So, yeah. Lainey Lee McGadney was kidnapped and killed in 1982. And this is howardcountymaryland.gov. Just want to give credit. So they have charged a man with this 40-year-old case. Howard Jackson Bradbury Jr., who lived, I think, in that area, was arrested at his home May 25th after DNA test results linked him to the 1982 crime scene where the body of Lainey was found. He has been charged with first and second degree murder, first and second degree rape and kidnapping. You see, so McGadney had left her apartment in Columbia, Maryland, on March 29th in 1982. She went to go to the grocery store. Witnesses described seeing her be abducted as she walked along the road. Her body was discovered the same day in a vacant lot known as, I think it's now known as Water Lily Way. She was a mother of 4. She had been raped and stabbed to death. She was 28 years old and a mother of 4. That's heartbreaking.
Jesus.
Those poor children. You see, they collected evidence at the time, but never identified the killer. Since then, all the DNA stuff has come about, and it's been a huge game changer for a lot of people. So you think no one will ever get you? Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. So I think
that's pretty fucked.
So fucked up. He got to live those 40 years, though, doing whatever the fuck he wanted. Oh, I hope he was nervous the whole time. I hope you looked over your shoulder. I hope if a cop pulled you over, I hope you got real fucking nervous. Okay.
Yeah.
Good talk. Way to be threatening, Cody. We take this shit seriously.
Me too.
I said we.
Oh, yeah, us.
That should be your opener. We take this shit seriously. Me too. I said us. Yeah. But that's the headline. So thank you, Christy. And I'm really glad that justice has come for this poor woman in a really fucked up case.
Yeah, it's awful.
Can you try that with a little bit more genuine emotion?
That's awful.
Thank you.
Is that better?
Yeah, okay.
Was it or no?
Like that. Emotion. Energy. Not like a very white DMX. Like
Come on. I don't want to get sued. I don't want to get sued.
Oh, right. All right. So I'll just go into my story.
Oh my God, no way.
Yeah.
Plot twist.
So Dorothy Jane Scott was a single mother raising her only son in Anaheim, California.
Ooh.
It was May 28th, 1980, when she would never be seen again.
Oh.
Dorothy was a likable 32-year-old homebody. She lived with her aunt along with her 4-year-old son.
Okay.
She worked as a secretary at Swingers Psych Shop. PSYCH. Swingers Psych Shop.
That is a lot to unpack.
This I thought
that goes with the theme of today, though, man.
I thought it was like maybe like a psychological something or other. No, this was a store that sold tie-dye shirts, blacklight posters, and essentially shit for people whose whole identity is weed or just didn't want to let go of the 70s.
I love that immediately.
Yeah, I mean, like,
that sounds like our kind of people.
I've got no problem with that. In fact, this store was actually connected to Custom John's Head Shop, where they sold tobacco smoking paraphernalia. Quote unquote, tobacco, wink, 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 smoking paraphernalia.
Yeah, no, it's a water pipe.
It's a water pipe. Yes. From all the people that you see smoking tobacco from water pipes and not cigarettes.
Yep.
Despite this, Dorothy was actually a very straight-laced person. It was just a solid job for her. So she wasn't there because she was into the culture or like wild party girl.
Sometimes a job is a job.
Yeah, she landed a solid job. She was a great worker, and it was a good fit for her. She was actually, people that knew her literally described her as boring.
No.
Like, she was nice. She was friendly, but it was like, oh yeah. No, Dorothy's a good mom.
Oh, that's so sad. I never want to go out like that. Like, I hope I either, I don't know, make it real entertaining, or at least like, I just don't want that be a description of me.
I hope people never describe me as boring. She put all her energy into work and raising her son. She rarely, if ever, went out, be it recreationally, romantically, or anything else. She really, honestly, just stayed home other than work.
That sounds like my mom. My mom was not the type to really date around. She had maybe a couple boyfriends after my dad, but
yeah,
just like she was just focused on being a mom, really.
All of this makes her story just that more confusing as far as I'm concerned.
Why?
So this brings us to May 28th, 1980. When Dorothy and her aunt were at work, she lived with her aunt. Her son, Sean, would stay with her parents. She dropped her boy off and headed to work. She arrived at work and they were having an employee meeting. Okay. There was another employee, Conrad Bostrom.
Wow.
An employee at the store. He was acting very strange during this meeting.
Wait, but also she works in a place where sometimes people are a little weird.
Maybe, yeah. But he's acting like especially strange to the point where she notices.
Oh boy.
He's fidgeting around. He's not paying attention to what's going on in the meeting. He's getting up, leaving the room, and coming back. Just really weird.
Like ADHD weird, or like?
I think it was worse than that.
Wow. Okay.
So my first thought reading this story was like, maybe he was nervous because he had already made up his mind that he was going to kill her.
Okay.
Right?
Maybe.
No, he had actually just been bitten by a spider and didn't want to go to the doctor. So Apparently,
like, when did the Spider-Man comics come out?
60s, I think.
So do you think he was like, I mean, like, maybe this is the time, maybe something's gonna happen. So he's like pacing, and then everyone's like,
maybe,
what is going on? And inside he's Tobey Maguire. So
possibly, but his arm was steadily getting a darker shade of red, and it was swelling so fast that they were like, we're pretty sure we can see it getting bigger.
Yeah, no, that's
bad.
That's not good.
No, so Dorothy literally had to convince this dude Conrad to allow her to take him to the hospital.
Like, what the hell, dude?
I don't know.
Why would you not just be like, I need to get this checked out?
Like, something that bad, I would go to the doctor for. Like,
oh boy.
I don't know.
Would you want to give it a solid 5 minutes to make sure you don't turn into Spider-Man?
Oh, for sure.
I think that's natural.
Absolutely. So there's another employee, Pam Head, said said that she would ride with them to the hospital in case he started getting even worse.
Okay.
Because they were like, it basically, they didn't say this, but they were basically looking at him and they're like, dude, you are fucked up. Like, why did you come to work?
Jesus.
So having said that, they're taking him to the hospital, and they still stopped on the way to the hospital to check on Dorothy's kids.
What?
I guess it was on the way to the hospital, and she just popped in real quick and was like, hey, is Sean okay? All right, perfect. And got back in the car and kept taking.
She took a look at his arm, was like, you need to go. But she's like, oh my God, no. Like, the street's right here. The street is right here.
Yeah. So they get him to the hospital. The doctors immediately knew what was going on and were like, thank God you came to the hospital. They began treating him, and Pam and Dorothy waited for him in the waiting room.
Okay. Yep. That's
okay.
Right.
So eventually, Conrad was brought back out after being treated.
Mm-hmm.
They were all tired from the long night because apparently they had been there for like hours and hours and hours. Right. So Pam and Dorothy had just been hanging out in the waiting room, reading magazines, talking with each other.
I mean, like 15 hours to even be seen.
Yeah, I mean, and the dude was
a process
decently fucked up. So like the fact that they had to wait for him to be treated. So Conrad comes out and he has to grab a prescription from the pharmacy. So Pam's like, well, I'll go ahead. Like, you've already done us the favor of bringing us up here. I'll go help him to the pharmacy. So they go over and they're standing in line at the pharmacy, and Dorothy comes around and is like, hey, actually what I'll do is I'll run out. I'll get the car. I'll pull around front. So when you guys come out, we're good to go.
Oh no.
And they're like, okay, cool. So they can see Dorothy walk. She's walking towards the front door and she goes into the restroom.
Yeah.
She comes back out of the restroom.
Yeah.
She walks out the front door, and they would never see her again.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Was Dr. Kevorkian working there? Just curious.
No. So Conrad and Pam go outside, and they assume they're going to like walk out and Dorothy's going to be sitting there at the curb.
Right.
So they walk out
in the car,
and they don't see any cars whatsoever. At least none that are pulled up. Like there's cars in the parking lot, but none that are pulled up.
Right.
So they're kind of just looking around.
That's an amazing movie idea, though.
Oh, this whole portion here is like a movie. Like, no, it gets so.
Also, okay, yeah, go ahead.
What?
No, like if you're in like one of those weird, like post-apocalyptic or like weird movies like that, where you come out of a hospital and suddenly there's no cars in the parking lot and everything's just abandoned, but when you went and everything was fine.
Oh yeah.
Don't steal that. It's mine.
That's the first episode of The Walking Dead.
Just kidding. It's already taken.
So they're looking around. They're waiting for Dorothy to pull around, and they stand out there for a good, few minutes, 15, 20 minutes, and finally the car starts pulling around. They had gone in and out of the hospital a couple times. Like, what the hell? And this is way back before cell phones or anything, so it's not like they can just call her. So they walk back out at some point and they see the car coming around the corner. And they're like, oh, bet Dorothy's here. And so the car's coming towards them, right?
Yeah.
Seemingly to pick them up.
Right.
So if I was going to pick you up at the curb, yeah, I drive towards you and I'm probably not going very fast.
Yes.
Right? I'm going to slow down. I'm going to slow down to stop.
Those feet can only reach the pedals so far.
Okay, you piece of shit. The car is, the closer it gets, the faster it's going.
Oh no.
And they're like, what?
Maybe she also got bit. She was like, oh yeah, shit.
They're like, what the fuck is Dorothy doing? So it gets really close. Like it's starting to get closer and closer and closer.
Yeah.
And the high beams come on.
Oh no.
So the car is coming at them at a speed totally inappropriate for a parking lot, blinding them with the high beams. It swerves towards them a little bit, swerves back away from them. The headlights go off.
Yeah.
It hits a dangerous right turn, like squealing tires right turn out of the parking lot, and it's fucking gone.
Like,
so
damn.
They like half-heartedly like, no, like running after it, and it's just lost to the night. Like it's fucking cooking.
God damn.
And they're like,
it's my second fear of the day, actually. Okay.
So the two fellow employees, Conrad and Pam, try and make sense of what just happened. They're like, well, maybe she needed to pick her son up, but how would she know that? Because like, unless she forgot that she needed to pick him up, she wouldn't have known that. And there was no time for her to take a phone call, because the only time she was not with either of them was when she was in the bathroom.
And no cell phones.
Right, and no cell phones. So they're like, well, maybe she just forgot. And she was like, fuck, I got to go pick him up, and like hit the lights as like a quick little signal, like I'll be back. So
almost
they
run them over, speed out of the parking lot.
No, it's super normal. So they're like, well, maybe she'll be back. She'll have to be back. Like she's always been reliable. She's like, a great worker.
Yeah. No, that's what I told myself. Like every doesn't meeting with Dad, I was like, oh, he'll be there. He'll be there. I'm clearly actually I'm fine. I can laugh about it. It's a big joke now. At the time, maybe not, but
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway, move
on. So they wait an hour in the fucking parking lot
after they've been there for probably 15 hours.
They've been there for a while, and they just hang out in the parking lot for another hour. So then they're like, she's not coming back. We need to do something. So they call the police, and the police are like, how long she been missing? An hour? Get bent.
No, I mean, if you're like an hour, people are like,
we got real shit to do. Like, it's been an hour. You're fine.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh yeah, we're probably overreacting. So they call Dorothy's parents.
Yeah.
Where the son is staying, right? Yeah. So surely she's been there to pick up Sean.
Yeah.
She has not been there.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, that's weird. So they eventually make their way home. And a few hours later, the police were very concerned. They found her car close to 10 miles away, on fire in an alleyway in Santa Ana.
Oh, boy.
Like, just blown out. Someone had set fire to this fucking car. Jesus. And it's going up. So this is all weird, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I got inappropriate thought. Let's move on.
What? No, I want to know.
So it's so bad. So you know the Kesha Pitbull song Timber?
Yeah.
I thought of Tinder in how it actually is, which meaning fire. So it's going down. I'm
I
yelling
really have
Tinder.
Yeah.
And it's just a car on fire. Yeah,
That's not good.
Car on fire, not good.
So yeah, car on fire. It's going down. We're yelling Tinder. So as it turns out, everyone should have been much more concerned way earlier than this discovery. No. For months, Dorothy had been receiving unidentified calls at her work from a voice that sounded familiar, but she couldn't place it.
Oh my God.
So I have this all the time with like voiceovers on commercials where I'm like, I fucking know that voice. Right. I know that voice. But she was having
you were gonna say like stalking phone calls, and I was like, Cody, are you okay?
No.
Blink twice for help. Okay, you just have a eye problem.
So it was a voice that sounded familiar, but she had never placed. The person claimed to be an admirer of hers and had been following her.
No thanks.
Seemingly everywhere. He would call and say, hey, no, you mean a lot to me.
No.
And today, when you're in the grocery store and you picked up those frosted flakes, and then you went to the next aisle and you grabbed that lettuce, and the last thing you grabbed was, remember the last thing you grabbed in the grocery store today was milk? Oh my God, that was so cute. And she's like, holy fuck, that's what I did today. That's what someone is actually following me. So he was literally giving her details of how she had spent the day to prove that he was following her.
I think I'd set my car on fire also.
Right? So she was so shaken by this that she ended up actually taking karate lessons and had talked to people she knew about buying a handgun.
What? Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
You got to protect yourself.
Guns are great.
A single mother raising a 4-year-old son. Yes, as long as it's in a locked case with a code and hidden out of sight, you go, girl.
So, unfortunately, at this point, Dorothy is missing.
Yeah.
The police had told Dorothy's parents to keep away from reporters of any sort.
Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't like, oh, well, they're not going to be helpful. Just they wanted to be able to lead an investigation without the stalker knowing that they were looking for them.
Correct.
Right.
Sometimes it's important not to talk to the media.
Don't go to the papers. Don't go to the press. Don't go to the news stations. Don't put extra details out there. We want to have the advantage.
Then there's Jean Benet's parents, who didn't talk to the police. They talked to the media.
It's bad. So they had told them not to let anyone who didn't directly know that Dorothy was missing, that she was missing.
Right.
A week after Dorothy's disappearance, her mother, Vera, got a phone call at home.
Oh, no.
The man on the other end asked, "Are you related to Dorothy Scott?"
Click.
Hoping for information on her daughter, she said yes.
Yeah.
The caller said, "I've got her," and hung up.
I would turn into Liam Neeson real quick.
I would cry a lot, and I have no shame in saying that.
We would be a real interesting duo in that movie. Like, oh, I'm gonna kill that bitch, and then it's just you sobbing.
They said they have her. Yeah, no, no.
Yeah, we gonna get her though.
So, a week after the call, Jacob, Dorothy's father, contacted the Santa Ana Register and had them run a piece about his daughter vanishing.
What would our duo
Okay.
name be? Bitch Face and Frodo. Bitch Face and
Bitch
Pokey.
Face and Frodo. Pokey.
That's the name I wanted to give you. Was Pokey.
Like fucking Gumby's horse?
I wasn't even thinking Gumby. I was like, bitch face and Pokey?
Pokey? That sucks.
You can come up with your name.
So Jacob, Dorothy's father,
is such the professional. Good job.
Is frustrated, contacts the Santa Ana Register and has them run a piece about his daughter missing.
Okay.
The same day the story ran, someone called the paper's editor, Pat Riley.
Okay.
I killed her. I killed Dorothy Scott. She was my love.
No.
I caught her cheating with another man.
I'm sorry.
She denied having someone else. I killed her.
You are fucking kidding me. Like he saw her at the hospital with this guy. And oh my God.
Whoever was calling claimed that Dorothy had called the person and said, hey, I'm actually at a UCI medical center, which is where they had gone.
Yeah.
The caller went on to provide details that were not public knowledge, such as what she was wearing, the story about the spider bite, just a few other things like
How would you know about the spider bite though?
If he abducted her,
what would he ask her? Like, what happened today? Oh, like he'd be like, why are you there?
If he abducted her from the hospital and was like, why the fuck were you with that guy?
Okay, all right.
And she was like, you got bit by a fucking spider. And he's like, you're lying. And she's like, no, for real. Like, why would I go spider bite? So the police actually did a very thorough investigation. Dorothy's sons, so Sean's estranged father, her small social circle, the people at work, the people at church. They looked into all of it. Yeah. But it just nothing came of it. They did look into it, but Dorothy didn't work with the public. So nor her co-workers or the police thought it was an infatuated customer. So they didn't think it was someone that was coming in every day and buying shit from her and just being like,
I feel like, well, I don't, but she said she recognized the voice or it was familiar to her.
She said it was a voice that she felt like she recognized, but she couldn't place.
Okay.
This doesn't really have much to do with the story, but apparently her parents did contact, they had eventually contacted multiple psychics.
I mean,
I don't personally get it.
The
police actually contacted a psychic as well.
Would you, given the extreme circumstance, do everything in your power to explore all options, even ones you find ridiculous?
Oh, absolutely. But like, it's one of those things that like, I like, so if someone I loved went missing, I would 100% like, if I exhaust everything else and I need to go to a psychic, I'm going to a psychic. Having said that,
I'm going to the psych office in Santa Barbara.
Fuck yeah. If the police were like, hey, we're going to contact a psychic, I'd be like, is there another police department I can talk to? That's great.
That's you know your best. Like, that's what you got.
Oh yeah. You're gonna.
Where's
you're
Joe
gonna contact the psychic?
Where is Joe Kenda? Get him here now.
Like, no, I'm not fucking about that.
I'm sorry, what?
Like
the
psychic.
Stuff?
Okay. Yeah, the psychic. Like okay, like I said, like I totally understand like a distraught set of parents going to a psychic and being like, nothing else has worked. I need to speak to a psychic.
I mean, this is also the 80s. Oh, sorry, 80s.
yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, okay, yeah. The police going to a psychic kind of was like,
cocaine is a big thing. Richard
Yeah.
Simmons is very popular.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
okay.
Lots of hairspray fumes, I think, were inhaled.
So unfortunately,
yeah,
the phone was still ringing at her parents' house
of course it was.
for 4 years.
Oh, this sounds like the Laureen Ron case that I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. Most Wednesdays, Dorothy's mom, who was home alone by herself during the day,
that's terrifying,
would receive a call. It was almost always the same 3 things. The same voice that had claimed to have Dorothy a week after her disappearance would call, and the voice would either repeat the call telling Vera, "I have her," or assuring Vera that Dorothy had been killed. Every now and then, the voice, which would ask the question that I personally find like the fucking creepiest. Every once in a while, they'd call on a Wednesday. Dorothy's mom is by herself.
Yeah.
The middle of the day, she gets a call from someone who she, probably believes had a hand in her daughter's death.
Right.
And the person on the other end of the phone just goes, "Is Dorothy there?"
Oh, come on.
Right? That's fucked. I don't mean to like.
I'm sorry.
It's like that's horror movie shit. You know what I mean?
Where was this located again?
California. It's in Anaheim / Santa Ana.
I guess this isn't the Golden State Killer's MO, but he did like calling and taunting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So this all happened in 1980.
Right.
Okay. They were getting calls for 4 years.
Jesus.
In April 1984, the call came later than usual. So it almost always came earlier on Wednesday when Vera was by herself.
Right.
In April 1984, the call came later when Jacob, the father, was home. He answered.
Listen here, you little bitch.
So he answered, and the calls stopped after that.
Okay.
He thinks the caller only ever talked to Vera. So when the caller got him, they assumed that there was new residents.
Well, I mean, he could.
4 years of
maybe
consistently talking to the same one woman almost every Wednesday.
Okay.
And then he calls on a Wednesday and he gets a guy and he's like, the calls just stop. So Dorothy's dad assumes that they were like, "Oh fuck, that's different people now."
Yeah, but is he not surveilling them a little bit also, or is he totally disinterested?
It doesn't seem to be.
That is very strange that it just stops.
They actually bugged their phone. They had policemen stay and record. I tried to. I couldn't find any of the recordings.
But they do have them.
They said they recorded them. I don't know if they're like on the internet, but I tried to find them and I couldn't find. They're
probably still in evidence because is this unsolved?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's definitely unsolved.
In evidence. Yeah.
So the calls stopped after Jacob answered the phone.
Wow.
A bit more than 3 months after the calls stopped, yes, Dorothy Jane Scott's remains were found by a construction worker.
I mean, I kind of figure.
Yeah, Dorothy had been buried. Dorothy had been buried in some brush just off of Santa Ana Canyon Road. Okay. Whoever buried her there buried her beneath some dirt, buried the remains of a dog on top of her, and then covered everything with dirt. So it's assumed that they tried to make someone think it's just an animal remains so they wouldn't dig any further.
That is a really diabolical genius thing to do that I had heard of before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's unfortunately it's a thing that's happened
Shitstick.
in the past. So Dorothy's bones were found along with a turquoise ring and a watch that like creeps me the fuck out because she went missing May 28th, 1980.
Yeah.
This watch had stopped at 12:30 May 29th, 1980.
Oh, that it went. The watches on bodies when things like this happen. I don't
It's
know how some
upsetting.
of
Like
them just stop.
it makes me feel gross.
Unless
You know what I
there
mean?
must have been trauma, so because the watch doesn't just stop.
I mean, I don't know. It might have been like one of those like wind 'em up watches and it just happened to be, you know what I mean? Like some of them it's like when you move it'll automatically wind your watch, but not a lot of watches are like that. So back then you had to actually wind your watch. But regardless, that's a very dark time for it to stop.
Yeah. I wonder if it was broken at all, like had been hit or.
It didn't say anything. It didn't even give like a cause of death. It's very clear that she was murdered. Just because why would an accidental death be buried on the side of the road?
Yeah, you don't just accidentally die and then have a dog buried on top of you. That's not like, no one's gonna bury a dog and not notice a body, and then it's just, yeah, no, there's no way.
Yeah. So her bones had been found with a turquoise ring and the watch that had stopped just 30 minutes after the day that she had gone missing. Her mother, Vera, confirmed the turquoise ring was her, and later scientific tests confirmed that the remains were Dorothy Jane Scott's.
It's horrible.
Afterwards, the newspaper ran the story that the remains had been found. And Vera and Jacob received 2 final phone calls. Both asking a single question and then hanging up quickly. Both calls, the person on the other side of the line simply asked, "Is Dorothy home?" And that was it. They never heard from him again. From what I read, Jacob, I believe, died in the 90s.
Okay.
And Vera passed away in like 2002. And it's still an unsolved case, but that's a horror movie. Like
I can't imagine just having that happen to your child and then you die not knowing.
Yeah. I mean, the phone calls fuck me up. Like,
well, yeah, no, that's.
I mean, yeah, obviously the phone calls are scary, but can you imagine trying to move past trauma in your life like that? And every week, like fucking clockwork, someone calls and reminds you about it. That's fucked.
Yeah, you finally get to the point where you can focus on something like a show you always liked or some music really liked to just unwind and kind of try to even live a life after something like this happens. And then this fucking asshole shitstick calls and you're like, fuck you. Really? Taunting?
Yeah, no, it's really? Super no thank you. It's fucked.
I hope he got his dick caught in a pineapple.
That's fair.
Or like electrocuted or something. I don't know.
Electrocuted by a pineapple.
Yeah. How about that? No, I will never understand the depravity and evil nature of some people to do this. And then not only do you do this act of violence and just horrible everything, then you call the family over and over,
right,
asking questions you know the answer to.
Remember what I did That's what he's calling and saying. Hey, remember what I did?
Yep.
Hey, did you stop thinking about me yet? Remember what I did? It's so fucked up.
Where's your daughter? You don't know, but I know.
That last question, just, is Dorothy home? That's that gives me chills, like literally fucking goosebumps. The other one was, is Dorothy there?
Is Dorothy there?
And then once he found out that they had discovered the body, he called twice, asked, is Dorothy home? And then they never heard from him again.
I hope he had a heart attack.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's
yeah, it's rough.
That's a rough thing to end on. I mean, I am grateful that they found her body. Like, they have that closure. Sometimes you don't get that.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't think it helps too much, because at the end of the day, you don't know who did it. You don't know if it's someone you could be walking next to. You could see in a grocery store. You could fucking drive next to them for all you know.
Right.
And it could be them. Who knows how many times? Oh, that's such a creepy thing. Who knows how many times they walked by him anywhere and he knew, but they had no idea.
Right. Especially considering, like, he followed her for so long and was very adamant about the details and shit. Like, it's super
how people can hide in plain sight repeatedly. Like, he watched her all the time and yet no one could tell who he was. Creepy as shit. That's why I stay at home. I just stay in my home. I don't go places. Ugh.
Sorry, my mom just texted me and said, I need some suggestions for intergenerational movies. What the fuck does that mean?
Like movies that are good for all ages is how she could have worded them. But instead she went with intergenerational, which is interesting.
I texted back and said, what does that mean?
Instead of just, hear the light bulb of the family. Figuratively.
The way my head is shaped.
All
right, cool. Are we done? I'm gonna go eat dinner.
Yeah, no, for real. So thank you for listening to episode 19. As per usual, I do have to mention Dear Friends Dead Ends Pod on Instagram. It has the link for everything. You gotta stop. Don't do that either. Jesus Christ.
Hey, y'all.
In case you didn't know, he has attention issues. Like paying attention. Okay, so for real though, Patreon, the link is on Dear Friends Dead Ends Pod. You can find us, join us on the fun side. And we'll see you in episode 20. Cody needs to eat, so we're gonna say bye.
Bye.